Welcome back, everybody, to the Out for Lunch podcast. I'm your host, grifyn.mcerlean. And before we jump into today's topic, I would just like to wish everybody a happy Q4 and happy end of year. For those of you closing some big deals or finishing up some big projects, I would like to wish you the best of luck. And for those planning to depart on some beautiful vacations leading up to the new year, I hope you have the best time. Now, today's topic, we have a big topic, a great topic in Rise with SAP. And Rise with SAP is our flagship offering, essentially helping customers move their critical business processes and systems to the cloud. It's that simple. And the SAP partner ecosystem plays a critical role in SAP's commitment to this cloud strategy. Now, the guest for today will be David Robinson. David Robinson is the president of Rise with SAP, and he's been with SAP for about 20 years in various roles such as development, engineering, and various field roles as well. Now, you'll have to forgive me. I did not ask David what he's having for lunch today, so we're not going to be starting off with sandwiches or soups or salads. We're going right into the content. So without further ado, allow me to introduce David Robinson. Enjoy. David Robinson, welcome to the Out for Lunch podcast. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm good. I hear you're in Miami.
I am in beautiful Miami, Florida today.
Fantastic. I myself am on the West Coast. I'm coming from Vancouver, Canada. So it's starting
Nice.
to cool up a little bit here. It's going to be probably a cold winter on my side. So
They would say the same thing here in Miami. It gets down to a really, really cold 78 Fahrenheit here
perfect.
in South Florida. Yeah, they get the scarves out when it gets that cold.
Yeah, exactly. So today we are talking about SAP's kind of flagship offering. We're talking about Rise with SAP. And customers, partners, this is so much more than just a solution. You know, this is really, it's a journey, a cloud transformation offering. And we have Rise with SAP, but we also have Grow with SAP. And I know there might be some questions revolving around those two. So what is Rise with SAP? And what are the key differentiators between that and Grow with SAP?
Certainly. And this is a great question. I get this question a lot, both from our partners and customers, and certainly internally, just to get better clarity and better kind of compass on where we're headed and why. What we're really doing right now is making the transition to cloud as easy and execute ready for our customers as possible. We have a very large install base, customers that have been ERP customers for many, many years. And we understand that those customers have a lot of existing processes and expectations and certain types of operating models that are very well established. What we're doing with Rise with SAP is unifying our cloud portfolio, our ERP cloud capabilities, S/4HANA Cloud, Private Edition, and Business Technology Platform, and Signavio around business process mining and insight, and certainly most recently with Lean IX. We're taking those solutions and we're unifying them with best practices and methodologies and recommendations around the best way for an organization, an enterprise, to transition to a cloud delivered enterprise estate. And then we further align that, unify that with a new cloud oriented engagement model. So what we're doing with Rise and Grow is creating a very prescriptive engagement, best practice methodology, and solution-oriented approach to help our customers transition to ERP cloud. Between Rise and Grow, certainly Rise has a lot of attributes that resonate with longstanding install-based customers that may not be ready to do it all at once and may need a more incremental approach over time. Whereas a lot of net new customers, a lot that have really, really strong focus and bias for fit to standard, certainly benefit from S/4HANA Cloud, our public edition. And that's where Grow programmatically really plays a role. So it's about having the right kind of journey for the right starting point, Rise versus Grow. But ultimately, the destination should be the same, which is getting our customer base, both our current and our future customer base, to maximize the benefits of running ERP cloud as the foundation of their enterprise.
Great. Yeah. And so like you said, it's our understanding that we want to move the SAP's install base to the cloud. So we have the Rise, we have Grow, like you said, that's the end goal for both of them. But I think the big question is why are we doing this? Why are we unifying our solutions? Why are we making these packages? Why is this so important? Why is cloud so important, so critical to customers' long-term success, for their competitiveness, and maybe their survival in this space, in this growing age that we're in?
Certainly. And I get sometimes the questions the last 2.5 years since we launched Rise with SAP back in January of 2021. One of the questions I get all the time is, why go with Rise versus some of the alternatives? And, really my kind of answer is that what we're doing as SAP is in response to our customers' demands, what the market has told us it wants. Cloud in and of itself is not just optional any longer. Enterprises, to continue to be competitive and agile and innovative, all of those things that are very important, really need to incorporate fundamentally cloud architecture, cloud service delivery, and cloud delivered estate as the basis of their enterprise. And so what we're looking at with these programs, Rise and Grow, is to accelerate and to cost and risk manage that natural transition. Operating your ERP as a cloud delivered service is not an option. It's really a required future state. What's an option is the pace, the sequence in which enterprises will make that transition. And so we've had to create different offerings, different capabilities that keep pace with the different ways every customer wants to embark on that journey, whether it's a brownfield-led journey that takes more steps over a longer period of time in order to refactor business processes and to continue to maintain certain degrees of modifications that are critical, while they're also taking advantage of cloud service delivery from some of the corporate functions. Whereas a lot of net new customers and a lot of customers that are in high growth stages of their business may have a real need to execute quickly and get. So it's not really optional for customers to get to an ERP cloud foundation. And what we're doing is everything possible to both cost and risk manage every customer's pace and sequence of their unique journeys.
Gotcha. So this foundation that you talked about and this cloud mindset is something that they need to get in their heads and their business models and how they operate, as soon as they can, as soon as they need to. So
correct. I mean, enterprises. I mean, every enterprise has a plan or a vision, and in certain cases, there was kind of an initial stage that we saw probably 5-8 years ago, which is decommissioning expensive infrastructure. So getting out of a lot of customers don't want to own their own data centers, operate their own data centers. That's not really a good use of their resources, their investments, and it's not an area of core competency for a lot of IT organizations. If it is a good competency, it probably shouldn't be. It's probably an area where infrastructure at scale has to some degree become very commoditized. We see the tremendous success that hyperscalers have had in the market, kind of growing scale and reducing the cost of compute, network, and store service. And whether it's our customers themselves or SAP, having a real focus on innovation and extensibility and at the application layer is really where IT organizations are best served and serving their internal business customer. Whereas a lot of the infrastructure lifecycle management and the complexity that comes with kind of more traditional on-premise applications, that's something that doesn't have to be the main thing for IT organizations anymore. And so we're seeing, phase one is that transition to running on-premise applications in a cloud infrastructure. And the next natural phase, which we're already in the middle of, is those applications, those enterprise applications being delivered as a cloud service that allows the IT organization to spend more time with their business customer, their business users, and less time focused on a lot of the care and feeding around just the technical speeds and feeds and making the application available.
Yeah, and time is really the biggest currency in a lot of this. So I mean, the quicker that they can adopt this mindset and quicker they can do this, the better for everyone, really. So
Correct,
Yeah.
correct. It's not just about, every one of these journeys is underway,
Hmm.
and it's our responsibility, it's our opportunity as SAP to make sure that those journeys on behalf of those customer journeys are cost and risk managed.
Yep.
But we've got to continue to do everything we can to get customers to that future state, which is their enterprise applications delivered as a cloud service, being able to take advantage of innovations, both innovations we know about today, but being in an operating condition, an operating state that allows them to take advantage of, to be discovered innovations.
Yep.
The rate of innovation is happening ever faster, and I think everyone knows that that's the case, and everyone is feeling the pressure of the constant change. But the ability to predict and react and do so is a really good signal of a future-proofed IT organization, and one that understands really how cloud architecture, helps them operate very, in an agile way. Because if it takes you longer to get the systems up and running than the innovation cycle, you're going to not be competitive very long.
Yep. Exactly.
Yeah.
And I don't think, I think you said it best. Like, this is not going to slow down anytime soon. So, I mean, this is only going to accelerate with the world that we're living in.
Yeah.
And that's the customer journey side of things. But I want to take a minute to talk about kind of the partner journey, because that is who the main audience of this podcast is today. And the goal of this podcast is really to embed partner messaging into everything that we do at SAP. So for the partners, where does the partner come into play in this strategy? What is their role, and how are they benefiting from this big push, from this journey that we're pushing onto our customers?
Certainly. And there's a lot to really focus on with the ecosystem. I mean, cloud in and of itself, and cloud architecture, cloud service delivery, cloud is really about collaboration and utilization in a lot of ways. The opportunity for the SAP ecosystem is tremendous. As implementers, as resellers, as providers of extensions and innovation, the real focus right now is on time to realization around innovation, new business and industry processes, and the ability to create economies of scale that really is just not possible in traditional on-premise application models. What we're seeing is, in a lot of cases, there's definitely been a disruption. There's been a disruption to all of our customers. There's been a disruption to SAP's traditional business model from many, many years ago. And there's certainly a lot of disruption to our ecosystem, to our partners' business models. I think that customers are always demanding the very, very latest innovations. They're always demanding, we always hear about, doing more with less. And, cloud and cloud architecture and cloud service delivery allows that to actually be possible. Where I see the greatest opportunity, and where I'm seeing a lot of partners take advantage of a lot of this new growth that cloud delivers, is on building repeatable, scalable package innovations that is much more easily deployed or activated within a customer's cloud estate. And the ability to really monetize that IP is something that happens both at time of commitment, but then over the entirety of the customer's use of the applications and running of the estate. So I think in the past, everyone was very much focused on the initialization of a customer use, selling software, getting the customer to commit to that, getting a customer to kick off a project, and then going live. Those are the big milestones. I think we're starting to see fewer milestones and more of a persistent engagement, where there's always an opportunity to extend, to innovate, to provide value, to service the customer's cloud estate in ways that are much more sustainable for our partners. So again, getting away from these big mega events, a big deal, selling it, or going live, and really focusing on those as being as important as every time there's a new opportunity identified within the cloud estate to extend or to provide an innovation service, and to be able to activate that within the customer's business or industry process. That's something that has a real long tail of revenue opportunity for our partners. So that curation, that's probably the big shift that I'm seeing right now is it's an end-to-end curation of the enterprise estate. And I think resellers, implementers, providers, partners that provide innovation are going to see a tremendous growth opportunity in being able to do much, much more because the customer is going to be in a better environment. They'll be in a better position to continue to take advantage of the very, very latest innovations, the very, very latest capabilities, and that's a tremendous opportunity for SAP and most importantly for our partners.
Yeah, and we've talked about that a lot recently in past episodes, and we've done kind of partner events on that. The idea of kind of the customer value journey, where it's not these big milestones that are everything. It's
Yep.
From the very start, first conversations, all the way to post sale or post go live, the management of that relationship throughout the entire journey. So I think it's really important to touch on that. And something I want to get into is something that was newly announced, kind of the more nitty gritty parts of Rise, the newly announced Premium Plus packages. So what is the opportunity there, and kind of for partners, what is the best way for them to position these packages?
Well, these packages, again, when we think about what we're doing as SAP, and certainly what we need help from our partners to amplify with the market, with our customer base, is making it as easy as possible for our customers, our end customers, to really get the value from the cloud delivered applications that we're providing, that resellers are reselling and implementing and configuring and extending. What we've done with packaging is we've taken very logical groupings of capabilities. So when we look at the core ERP cloud, in this case with Rise S/4HANA Cloud Private Edition, and we've bundled it with some bare essential capabilities like business technology platform. And we've taken those and economically provided not just a financial benefit and economic benefit, but provided very prescriptive use cases and capabilities for the customers to realize the delivery, the deployment, or activation of those services, S4 and business technology platform. What we've seen with the most recent offering, the Premium Plus bundle, is a lot more of the innovation services. So we look at AI units, we're looking at DataSphere, we're looking at a lot of other capabilities in our finance portfolio, OCFO portfolio, and we've brought those together in a very logical value-based bundle so that customers are not just getting the bare essentials, but they're also getting access to some of the capabilities that in a lot of cases is the future foundation of the bigger enterprise. So being able to have access to that and use rights to experiment with, to pilot and try in certain parts of an enterprise is a great way to not necessarily make the total commitment, but at the same way provides a financial or economic benefit to the customers so that they can start taking advantage and getting experience with and starting to build out use of more than just S/4HANA Cloud, but all the other parts of that enterprise estate.
Gotcha. And it's good to know that there are different, it's one journey, but there's different paths to that end goal, and we provide different options to get there. So
everyone wants everyone wants agility or flexibility. Not everyone has the same pace, and not everyone has the same objectives, at least in the near term. And so having kind of the different bundles that meet different degrees of customer ambition and objective is just another way that we've defined these bundles to meet the end customer where they want to start using more and more of these cloud capabilities. And so there's been a lot of success in that in the near term, because people want to have the journey be very clear and guided, and in a lot of cases prescribed to take advantage of or to maximize the benefits that come with cloud service as a ERP, and not necessarily spend a lot of time trying to figure it out. They want to spend their time getting an ROI and a faster time to value. So the more that we, together with our partners, can make that very prescribed, very, very accessible in terms of a realization phase, we'll both benefit, because the sooner the customer is live and running with the core, and the more they're getting exposure and experience and confidence in some of these other essentials like BTP, like Signavio, like AI, we're gonna that kind of seeds the opportunity, certainly for our partners, to then take that enterprise estate to scale.
Yep. And with so many different partner types and so many partners, period, they're all unique in their own ways, in ways that we engage with them and
Yeah.
how the partners engage with their customers. So I think it's great. And you touched on kind of all of this being related to the core, particularly the clean core. So I had a question revolving around kind of that different path on this journey that we're talking about, the bring your own license, the Byol model versus Rise. Partners may be asking,
Yeah.
if why Rise with SAP is the best path forward rather than the Byol model, because while it is possible for customers to use a hyperscaler hosted SAP S/4HANA implementation, kind of this lift and shift model, as we've coined it, mindset, might be less beneficial. So kind of what is the Byol versus Rise? Can you touch on that?
Sure. Well, I think, the days of bring your own license are probably, we're going to see fewer and fewer customers want to take that path. And frankly, that's already been the case. We're not really seeing any new customers really want to embark on that journey, because, again, that's legacy thinking. That's a legacy investment. That's an investment in kind of an operating model that is based around on-premise architecture and doesn't take advantage of the true cloud service architecture and the ability to collaborate and take advantage of next generation innovations. So, when we're talking to certainly new customers or customers that are starting to refactor their enterprise, their ERP foundation around cloud, they don't just want access to the capability, they want access to keeping that capability up to date and having both enhancement and support and new features and functions be delivered as a part of the cloud service delivery, leveraging the same engagement and architecture. And what we're seeing is that's the future. That's what enterprises want. That's what they're trying to transition into. And we're going to see, I think, very soon, no customers wanting to go live on an ERP system that the day they go live, it's already obsolete or years behind because of how on-premise software is usually deployed or installed and configured. I think we're going to start seeing more and more customers demand that they are operating in what I've been calling this persistent innovative state, in which the go live is really the beginning, and the ability to continue to consume ERP cloud, or in this case, S/4HANA cloud, the private edition with a dedicated tenant, is how customers are going to demand their ERP be delivered. That's the value proposition of cloud. And that's really the future of how enterprises are going to continue to keep pace with innovation and change, is to not make every update a large project or go live event, but demand that, again, enhancement, support, and new features and functions are a composition of the cloud delivered service.
Okay. So BYOL is kind of the on-prem legacy thinking, and Rise is really the future with new customers and where we're wanting to continue to head.
Correct. ERP cloud is the future. I kind of joke, there's not a lot of startups building on-prem ERP.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of, net new customers are going to S/4HANA Cloud Public Edition. We've used Grow to make that proposition very, very easy to execute on. And with Rise, we've made that value proposition easy to execute on for our long-standing install base. Everything's headed to cloud, and not just running it on the cloud, but consuming it as a cloud service. And that's the foundation of ERP cloud. Frankly, that's the foundation of the enterprise estate delivered as a cloud service. So we're following where the market has headed, and we're doing everything we can to keep investing both in our customers and in our partners, for all of us to make that transition as effective as it can be, and to get to that future state IT operating model, both for us, SAP, for our partners, terms of how they compose, deploy, activate new innovations within those estates. And then obviously most important for both us and our partners is how our mutual or end customers will continue to rely on us for the very, very latest up-to-date innovations and capabilities. That's the promise of cloud, and that's what Rise and Grow, frankly, are designed to do, get customers to that point.
Great. So I'm sure you've been or have met with plenty of partners and plenty of customers, in your tenure, in your position. I'm just wondering, as it relates to Rise, I'm wondering if there's any particular questions coming from partners or from customers relating to Rise. What are their biggest questions? What are their burning feedback about what they want to know or what they need from you? If you can touch on that.
Certainly. I think, well, the opportunity is very clear. I like to talk a lot about how a customer that goes live with S/4HANA Cloud, private edition, through this Rise motion, the go live is not an endpoint, it's a starting point. And the starting point is the starting point in which the additional capabilities such as Signavio with business process insight and process mining are going to be tremendously valuable and impactful, where business technology platform as both an integration and an extensibility service layer is going to deliver the next generation of capability, both business process extensions and industry unique processes. So what I spend a lot of time doing with partners is helping them look at, not today, but 2 years from now, what do customers look like and how do they want to continue to consume ERP and enterprise capabilities as a cloud service? And then most importantly, what do we SAP and our partners need to do today to help refactor ourselves, to retool our teams, to develop new lighthouse references, to develop new capabilities that are maybe not on the forefront of today's on-premise operating models, and do all of that today. The more we invest in BTP innovations and expertise, the more we invest in extensibility with things like SAP Build. Certainly DataSphere, as it refactors the openness of data plane and data interoperability, like that is the future of enterprise estates. So I like to spend my time, I like to make sure that partners are getting all of the support that they can from SAP to be able to kind of refactor their resources, their business strategy, and for us jointly to look at our customer bases together. 2 or 3 years from now, and make sure that everything we're doing is investing in being successful in our own transition.
That's great. Well, David, I'm excited to see what this looks like in the next couple of years, and I'm excited to know that it's where it's always a forward-thinking endeavor. How are we helping our customers in the future? How are we helping our partners in the future? We're always looking ahead,
correct,
and trying to move on from what we've done in the past, and we're always changing. So it's exciting. So I just have one last question for you.
Yeah, please.
Not related to Rise. This is related to the Out for Lunch podcast. It's a staple question we like to end with. If you were to have lunch with any famous person, celebrity, icon for 30 minutes, who would you have lunch with, David?
Wow. Living, not living, anybody?
Anybody through history.
Anybody through history. I've always had a really strong, I'm originally from Philadelphia. I've had a tremendous fascination with and admiration for Benjamin Franklin, who's one of the founding fathers here in the United States, but certainly an innovator in his time, and in many ways an innovator still to this day. I think a lot of us kind of rely on a lot of those innovations, both in terms of innovative things, but innovative thinking. And a lot of great best practices that, even though they're 300 years old, still seem as relevant today as then. So certainly, I would love the opportunity to have lunch with him and get his feedback, maybe on 2023 and where he sees the next 300 years headed, based on how far we've come.
That's great. Well, two innovative men
Yeah.
sitting together having lunch sounds like a great conversation. But David, thank you so much for coming on. I'm sure the partners enjoyed this. By the way, I was just in Philly for my first time. I did, I was only there for a day, so I didn't get to see too much, but I went up, I did the Rocky Steps, threw my hands in the air.
Did the Rocky Steps.
Yeah, that was.
Next time you'll have to text me, and I'll make sure you get a really good cheesesteak while you're there in Philly.
Okay, good.
It's a hotly debated topic, but I know the best. I know the best
spots. Okay, good. Okay, well, I'll be sure to text you. Well, David, thanks again for coming on, and partners, thanks for listening.
Likewise, appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you for tuning into this week's episode of the Out for Lunch podcast, and a big shout out to David Robinson for joining me in the diner today to speak about Rise with SAP. For more information on Rise with SAP, please see the various resources within the episode description. There is a ton of material for you to still learn about if you haven't already. And of course, if you liked the episode, please feel free to leave us a review. I hope you have a great rest of your day, a great rest of your quarter, and as always, stay hungry for more information.